Hello and welcome to News at 10 on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you and here are the latest headlines. India and ASEAN make strong commitment to combat terrorism in all forms. Prime Minister Modi hits out at Pakistan, asks ASEAN to isolate and sanction those who produce and export terror. Army Chief to review situation in Kashmir Valley. Rift appears in PDP after senior leader says party must end alliance with BJP if agenda of alliance cannot be implemented. Dawn to dusk Bund called by pro-Kannada groups in Karnataka against release of Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu. Chief Minister appeals for peace, elaborate security arrangements to maintain law and order. And Serena Williams' reign as world #1 ends. She's defeated by Czech Karolina Pliskova in the US Open semi-finals. Our top story this morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit out at Pakistan once again at the East Asia Summit in Vientiane in Laos. Now, without naming Pakistan, Modi said that one country in the neighborhood was producing and exporting terror. He also called on the international community to isolate and sanction this instigator. Days after raising the issue of Pakistan exporting terror in the neighborhood at the G20 summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi did it again at the India-ASEAN Summit and the East Asia Summit in Laos. He said that there was one country in the neighborhood whose competitive advantage rests solely in producing and exporting terrorism. At the East Asia Summit, the Prime Minister said it was important to target not only the terrorists but also their entire supporting ecosystem, and that the strongest action must be reserved for those state actors who employ terrorism as an instrument of state policy.
Rising export of terror, growing radicalization through ideology of hatred, and spread of extreme violence define the landscape of common security threats to our societies. The threat is local, regional, and transitional at the same time. Our partnership with ASEAN seeks to craft a response that relies on coordination, cooperation, and sharing of experiences at multiple levels.
The Prime Minister also said that ASEAN was central to India's Act East policy and that seamless digital connectivity between India and Southeast Asia was a shared objective.
ASEAN is central to India's Act East policy, and our ties are a source of balance and harmony in the region. Enhancing connectivity in all its dimensions, physical, digital, economic, institutional, and cultural, is at the heart of India's strategic partnership with ASEAN. The Prime Minister also met US President Barack Obama on the sidelines of the summit, where Obama underscored US's strong support for India's NSG membership bid. The two leaders reaffirmed the importance of the deepening partnership between the US and India and the value of their shared engagement in the region. Modi also proposed to enhance the ASEAN-India Fund with an additional grant of $50 million and said that a joint task force be set up to work on extension of the India-Myanmar-Thailand trilateral highway to Cambodia, Laos and Vietnam. India also announced hosting the commemorative summit on shared values, common destiny in 2017 and also offered to host India-ASEAN Youth Summit. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And the 10-nation ASEAN community recognized terrorism as a significant threat to peace and stability in the region and made a strong commitment to combat terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. In a declaration at the end of the 14th ASEAN-India Summit in Laos, ASEAN leaders stressed that there can be no justification for acts of terror on any grounds. ASEAN and India also supported the early adoption of the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism, currently under negotiation at the United Nations.
Meanwhile, hours after the Prime Minister rapped it for producing and exporting terror in a sharp rhetoric, Pakistan has accused India of destabilizing it by financing terrorism and supporting militancy. Now, Pakistan Foreign Office spokesperson Nafeez Zakaria was responding to Prime Minister Modi's veiled reference to Pakistan made at the ASEAN summit in Laos. Now, Zakaria said that Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif will raise India's alleged involvement and atrocities in Kashmir at the UN General Assembly session later this month. The Pak foreign officer also expressed deep concern over the alleged human rights violations by Indian forces in Kashmir.
One of the countries in South Asia, somebody just mentioned, and I responded to it, that they have, there are confessions, there are evidences available in which it has been proven that one of our neighbor is involved in perpetrating terrorism in Pakistan and with a view to destabilize Pakistan. They are financing terrorists in Pakistan.
On to some other news. Well, the Army Chief will be visiting Kashmir today to review the security situation there. Well, situation in several parts of the valley have begun to improve after 63 days of protests. Meanwhile, there seems to be a division in the PDP over the handling of the situation in the state, with the senior party leader now saying that the PDP-BJP alliance should split if they are unable to honour the agenda of alliance.
Army Chief General Dalbir Singh will visit Srinagar to review the security situation in the valley and along the line of control. Amidst the unrest, the Jammu and Kashmir Director General of Police K. Rajendra Kumar has been given an extension of 3 months. The centre on its part says it will use both firmness and compassion in dealing with the unrest.
The central government and the state government are capable of dealing with the situation in whatever form it appears, and very soon things would return to normal, as has been stated by in the statement issued at the conclusion of the all-party delegation meeting yesterday.
Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti called on Governor N.N. Vohra and discussed the internal security situation. Earlier on Thursday, the Governor also had meetings with the DGP and the General Officer Commanding of Srinagar-based Corps. Division seems to be appearing within the PDP over the failure to stem the unrest.
ये जो हल है ये एजेंडा ऑफ अलायंस है और ये दो आसपास बैठे हैं जो हैं ये दो पार्टनर जो हैं ये उस हल को चला रहे हैं. मैं ये कहता हूँ कि पूरी कोशिश करो, भगवान का नाम लेके इसको चलाओ, लेकिन अगर चल नहीं सकता तो चुप करके लोगों को सलाम करो. हमसे ये काम नहीं हो सकता, हम इकट्ठे चल नहीं सकते, अलग-अलग चलो.
Meanwhile, a civil society group has written to the President seeking a direct dialogue with all stakeholders, including separatists. In a 5-page letter to the President, they have demanded repealing laws like AFSPA and a ban on the use of pellet guns as confidence-building measures for starters. The opposition in the state is targeting the Chief Minister.
Well, the central government should understand that buying time will not work as a tactic anymore. Sending all-party delegations for symbolism will not work anymore. The content will matter. You have to engage with the people of Kashmir and respect their political aspirations and stop patronizing them.
Hardline Hurriyat leader Syed Ali Shah Gilani has said he is not against dialogue but won't participate in what he says is any meaningless exercise which is not aimed at solving the Kashmir issue. On Wednesday, the all-party delegation that visited Jammu and Kashmir had asked the centre and the state governments to take steps to initiate a dialogue with all stakeholders.
Talks have just rolled up in Kashmir. All-party parliamentary delegation has gone, and I believe that for the first time in last 60 days, the art of conversation as core to democracy has taken some kind of shape in Kashmir. We should allow that shape to move further. We should allow that conversation and listening to move further, rather than using jingoistic logic to stifle whatever window is available.
On the ground, security forces will shortly start using chili-filled shells power for crowd control to replace pellet guns that had caused injuries to a large number of people. 73 people have died and more than 10,000 injured in the clashes that followed the killing of Hizbul Mujahideen militant Burhan Wani on July 8. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news. Well, President Pranab Mukherjee has given his assent to the landmark constitutional amendment bill that will pave the way for introduction of the goods and services tax in the country. Now, 19 states have ratified the Constitution 122nd Amendment Bill, with Arunachal Pradesh and Andhra Pradesh doing it on Thursday. The requirement was for 16 states to ratify the bill to make way for presidential assent. Now, with the Constitution getting amended, the centre will now have the right to tax at the retail stage, and the states too will have the right to collect service tax. The centre is now likely to introduce the all-important central GST bill in Parliament during the winter session. And Vice President Hamid Ansari has stressed on the need to remove barriers of global villages and work together for more effective safeguard of the environment. Now, interacting with students of Nalanda International University in Bihar, the Vice President spoke about the lacunae in the efforts to tackle environmental problems. He said that while a lot of talk takes place in several countries, there has been little success in a uniform approach to tackling the issue.
Few bricks are always available to make a shelter. But the shelter which environment provides takes decades or centuries. Once you have destroyed the ecology, then there is no shortcut. No government in the world can recreate ecology at short notice.
And news at 10, we'll take a very short break. Up next, we'll get you all the international and sports news. Stay tuned.
Life after death was a cardinal belief in the Harappan civilization. Reflecting this is the skeleton of a middle-aged woman with gold bangles. Excavated from Rakhigadi in Haryana, it's an example of the burial practices in those times. Much like the Egyptian mummies, vessels, eatables, ornaments were kept near the dead body, in the hope that they would be of use to the person in the next world.
The achievement of a Nobel Prize in Medicine by China is a result of the integration of the traditional medicine in main healthcare system, and I think we lagged in it. Whatever you are getting from the laboratory investigation and then you are translating into the healthcare, that is yukti. If a Vaidya is blessed by this sense of yukti, he can never fail.
What Eureka with Professor Kartar Singh Dhiman, Director General, Central Council for Research in Ayurvedic Sciences, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. News from Karnataka. Well, a dawn to dusk Bund has been called by the pro-Kannada outfits to protest against the Supreme Court's direction to release Kaveri River water to Tamil Nadu. Well, this is the second Bund that the state is bracing for in less than a week's time, and the fourth this year. The officials say that the Bund is being supported by several organizations, unions and political parties. Public transport may be affected as the state transport buses will stay off the roads, and auto rickshaws and cab unions are also extending their support to the Bund. Metro services are also likely to be hit. Now, keeping security of students in mind, schools and colleges have declared a holiday, and attendance at government offices is not compulsory. Shops and establishments, markets, petrol pumps, hotels and malls are likely to remain shut besides banks. Elaborate security arrangements have been made to maintain law and order. Extra forces have been deployed with 2 companies each from Kerala and Andhra Pradesh, 1 from Maharashtra and 10 companies of central forces. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has appealed for peace and said that there should be no damage to public property during the Bund. In Bangalore, more than 14,000 police personnel will be deployed. 36 Karnataka State Reserve Police, 30 City Armed Reserve platoons and 1 company of Rapid Action Force have also been deployed. News from the national capital, and the AAP government suffered another jolt on a Thursday when the Delhi High Court set aside the appointment of 21 party MLAs as parliamentary secretaries. Well, the court called the appointments illegal since they were made without the LG's approval. The ruling comes close on the heels of a similar verdict when the court declared the LG as the administrative head of the capital, dealing a severe blow to Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal.
A big jolt for the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi. The High Court on Thursday scrapped the appointment of 21 Aam Aadmi Party MLAs as parliamentary secretaries. This after the party conceded in court that their appointment was not cleared by the Lieutenant Governor.
माननीय हाई कोर्ट का जो निर्णय है ये इस मामले में एक बहुत बड़ी जीत है, क्योंकि हाई कोर्ट ने ये स्वीकार कर लिया है कि ये इनकी नियुक्तियां अवैध थी, नियुक्तियां गलत थी, असंवैधानिक थी। ये मुद्दे मैंने भी राष्ट्रपति जी के सामने समक्ष और चुनाव आयोग में अपनी याचिका में उठाए हैं और मैंने इस बात का भी हवाला दिया है, क्योंकि ये गलत तरीके से इनको पोस्ट दी गई। संसदीय सचिव कोई पद एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता, इनको मंत्री का दर्जा दिया गया, इसलिए लाभ के पद पर आते हैं। तो हाई कोर्ट के निर्णय का निश्चित तौर पर पूरा प्रभाव चुनाव आयोग के डिसीजन पर पड़ेगा।
The Aam Aadmi Party's submission came after the High Court ruled last month that the Lieutenant Governor is the administrative head of Delhi and the state government has to consult him on all decisions. Now the Election Commission will decide whether to continue hearing the petition seeking disqualification of these MLAs who were appointed as parliamentary secretaries.
Parliamentary secretary रहते हुए हमें कोई ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट तो मिला ही नहीं, कुछ भी ना हमारी तनख्वाह बढ़ के मिली, ना हमें कोई OSD मिला, ना हमें गाड़ी मिली, मतलब कोई भी सुविधाएं हमें नहीं मिली। मैं ये ऑफिस भी अपने घर में ही चल रहा है मेरा। हमने केवल सेवाएं जो लोगों को दी हैं बस खाली। अगर जनता की सेवा करना ऑफिस ऑफ प्रॉफिट है तो वो तो हमने किया, जनता की सेवा की हमने। तो
सोचने वाली बात है कि सदस्यता क्यों थी, सदस्यता के ऊपर सवाल क्यों खड़े हो रहे थे कि वो संसदीय सचिव हैं। अब वो संसदीय सचिव ही नहीं हैं तो उनके सदस्यता पे, उनके डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन पे अब इलेक्शन कमीशन अपना क्या मत बनाता है, क्या राय बनाता है, मुझे लगता है कि ये इसे हमें इलेक्शन कमीशन के विवेक पे छोड़ देना चाहिए।
Opposition parties called the decision a slap on the face of the Aam Aadmi Party government.
Only one person could have been appointed as parliamentary secretary, and that position was only available to the chief minister, not to anyone else. So very clearly this is a violation of law, violation of the constitution, and these 21 people have to go. Election commission has to take the next call.
बड़े दुख की बात है कि जिस पार्टी ने अपनी पार्टी का नाम आम आदमी की पार्टी रखी, जिस पार्टी के नेता ये कहते रहे कि हम सादगी से रहेंगे, वहां के विधायक सिर्फ विधायक बनकर के संतुष्ट नहीं थे, वहां के विधायक अपने 400% सैलरी बढ़ा करके 2,70,000 रुपया महीना सैलरी हो जाए सिर्फ संतुष्ट नहीं थे। वहां के विधायक ये भी चाहते थे कि विधायक के ऊपर पार्लियामेंट्री सेक्रेटरी बन जाए, और पार्लियामेंट्री सेक्रेटरी भी गलत तरीके से बनाए गए, पार्लियामेंट्री सेक्रेटरी मिनिस्टर्स के बनाए गए, और थोक से 21 पार्लियामेंट्री सेक्रेटरी जो आज तक के हिंदुस्तान में 1/3 विधायक पार्लियामेंट्री सेक्रेटरी बन जाए, जो नहीं हुआ है वो दिल्ली के अंदर हुआ है, और हाई कोर्ट ने सही कदम उठाया कि उसको इलीगल कहा है।
The appointment of Aam Aadmi Party MLAs as parliamentary secretaries was challenged on the basis of the Office of Profit clause of the Constitution. It was on this ground that President Pranab Mukherjee refused to sign the bill that ratified their appointment in June this year. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, news from Punjab. After weeks of speculation, former BJP leader Navjot Singh Sidhu formally launched a new political party in the state called the Punjab. Sidhu said that his party will work for the resurrection and redemption of the state. He also said that his brand of politics was about serving people and not personal gain. Sidhu has joined hands with the three top voices in the state, former Indian hockey captain and suspended Akali MLA Pargat Singh, and Ludhiana-based independent state and lawmaker and brothers Simarjeet and Balwinder Singh Bens. The group is also likely to draw the support of AAP's sacked Punjab chief Sucha Singh Chotepur. Well, reacting to the forming of a new party in the upcoming Punjab election, all major political parties criticised Sidhu.
आवाज़ पंजाब एक इनकलाबी आवाज़ है, एक इनकलाबी आवाज़ है जिहड़ी सद्दा दिंदी है हर चंगे बंदे नूं कि आए और एकजुट होके अज पंजाब जड़ा जार जार करता, तार तार करता, बर्बादी दी कगार ते खड़ाता, ओनू सवारे। एक चंगा बंदा 100 माड़ियां नालों चंगा, चंदन दा एक टुकड़ा बबूल दे जंगल नालों चंगा।
राजनीतिक क्षेत्र में सिद्धू जी को बीजेपी लेकर आई और बीजेपी ने उनको एक नहीं 2-3 दफे सांसद बनाया और राज्यसभा भी दी। और सिद्धू जी का जो राजनीतिक जीवन है और राजनीतिक जो पहचान है वो बीजेपी के वजह मिली है। और अब वो बाहर आ गए हैं, अब उनको समझ आएगा कि राजनीतिक पहचान बनाना कितना कठिन होता है एक अच्छी माँ के बिना।
उनके साथ तो हाथ मिलाने को के लिए तैयार नहीं है, तो वो आज अलग होकर कोई नया फ्रंट बनाएं तो उसका नुकसान श्रोमणी अकाली दल बीजेपी अलायंस को नहीं होगा, तो उसका नुकसान तो उनको ही होगा जिनके पास वो जा रहे थे।
अब क्या बातें हुई, कैसे पूरी परिस्थितियां बदली, कैसे अचानक आज वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ आम आदमी पार्टी के खिलाफ बोल रहे हैं, जिनका लंबा इतिहास बादलों से लड़ने का रहा है। तो आम आदमी पार्टी तो बादलों के खिलाफ लड़ रही है, बादलों के भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ लड़ रही है। अब नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू जी का मकसद अगर आम आदमी पार्टी के खिलाफ लड़ना है तो वो उस काम में आगे बढ़े।
And it is the fourth day of Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi's Kisan Mahayatra in Uttar Pradesh. Now, on Thursday, State Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav reached out to the Congress Vice President, referring to Rahul Gandhi as a good human being. Akhilesh talked of a possible friendship with him if Rahul spent more time in the state. The Kisan Mahayatra of the Congress party reached Basti on Thursday. The third day of his yatra is being seen as the biggest outreach by the party in the poll-bound state. As the Congress Vice President interacted with voters in UP, State Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav termed Rahul Gandhi as a good human being and suggested that friendship between them was a possibility if Rahul spent more time in the state.
मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि राहुल जी बहुत अच्छे इंसान हैं, बहुत अच्छे लड़के हैं वो भी, और उत्तर प्रदेश में ज्यादा आना चाहिए और ज्यादा रहना चाहिए, और जब ज्यादा कोई रहेगा तो हमारी भी दोस्ती उनसे होगी।
Akhilesh, however, shrugged off a question on an alliance between the Congress and the Samajwadi Party in the run-up to the assembly polls in 2017.
मैंने क्या किया, दो अच्छे लोग मिल नहीं सकते, तुम राजनीतिक बात क्यों करते हो? दो अच्छे लोगों की बात हुई है, कोई राजनीतिक बात तो नहीं हुई।
Rahul also held a show in Basti, which has 5 assembly segments and 1 parliamentary constituency. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Let's now take a look at the events that are slated for the day in the day ahead. Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh, who arrived in Goa on Thursday, will commission the Indian Coast Guard's offshore patrol vessel Sarathi at the Goa Shipyard Limited yard later today. He will be accompanied by Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, officials of the ICG, Indian Navy, GSL and many others. The Telecom Regulatory Authority of India has called a meeting today with the telecom operators to resolve the ongoing dispute involving Reliance's Jio and incumbent telecom operators such as Airtel, Vodafone and Idea over interconnect points. The Cellular Operator Association of India has written to the PMO that incumbents are not obliged to entertain interconnect requests that are anti-competitive. It has sought Prime Minister Office's intervention to restore fair competition. The autumn session of the Meghalaya Assembly will begin as the Congress-led government would try to get the GST bill passed, requiring ratification by half of the 31 states' assemblies for it to become a law. The Constitution Amendment Bill has already been ratified by 19 state assemblies. Government has set a deadline of April 2017 for its rollout. Earlier on Thursday, President Pranab Mukherjee gave its nod to the Constitution Amendment Bill on GST. Let's get to some international news. Well, a senior commander of the Syrian militant group Jabhat Fateh al-Sham, formerly known as Al-Nusra Front, has been killed near Aleppo. The group said on its Twitter account that Commander Abu Omar Sarkeb died in an airstrike in Aleppo province. However, it did not say which country's forces had carried out the airstrike. The Syrian government, Russia and a US-led coalition have all been carrying out airstrikes against militant groups in Syria. The city of Aleppo has seen some of the fiercest clashes in recent months. On a Thursday, Syrian military claimed to have taken control of a strategically important district on the outskirts of Aleppo, restoring a key supply line linking government-held areas in the city. Meanwhile, a US Secretary of State, John Kerry, is due to hold talks on Russia with the Russian Foreign Secretary Sergei Lavrov in Geneva today. But there is still uncertainty over that meeting after the US State Department said that the two had already discussed major points of a truce. On the 2nd of September, sources said that US and Russia were nearing a deal that would set a 48-hour ceasefire in Aleppo, allow UN humanitarian access and limit Syrian government aircraft flights. And close to 1.5 million Muslims from around the world have gathered in Mecca, Saudi Arabia for the annual Hajj pilgrimage, which is set to start today. However, for the first time in almost 3 decades, Iranians will not join the pilgrimage. Iran refused to take part in this year's ritual after more than 400 of its nationals were killed in last year's stampede in Mina, outside of Mecca, the largest death toll of any country. While Saudi Arabia has claimed to initiate new steps for the security and to avoid any disaster, the two nations continue to spar over the last year's accident. While Saudi Arabia is yet to release any findings on why the stampede happened, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says that Saudi authorities acted as bystanders. While Saudi Arabia said that 769 people were killed in the crush, news agencies estimated more than 2,400 people died. Sunni-dominated Saudi Arabia and Shiite Iran are regional rivals who have had no diplomatic relations since early this year. They are also at odds over a number of regional issues, including Syria and Yemen. Let's get you some more international stories in World Wrap. A magnitude 5 earthquake has been detected in North Korea amid reports that the country had been preparing for its 5th nuclear test. South Korea's news agency said that it had been an artificial quake. The US Geological Service said that the tremor had been detected in the northeast of North Korea, close to a known nuclear test site. There has been no confirmation from the north as yet that a nuclear test has been carried out. Experts say it is highly likely to be the case. Close to 45 tourists had to spend the night trapped in a cable car high above the Mont Blanc glaciers on Thursday night after high winds caused the cables to get tangled. Initially, 110 people were trapped, but 65 were airlifted out by helicopters. Now, a helicopter rescue operation had to be suspended as the night fell, leaving about 45 suspended at an altitude of 12,468 feet. The rescue operation will resume this morning. 3 women were arrested on Thursday in connection with a car laden with the gas cylinders found abandoned near Paris's Notre Dame Cathedral. Now, France says that the 3 were likely planning an imminent attack. One of the women stabbed a police officer during the arrest before being shot and wounded. The discovery on Saturday night of the car loaded with the 7 gas cylinders prompted a counter-terrorism investigation. More than 400 additional US troops have been deployed to Iraq in recent days as the local forces prepare for an assault on Mosul, the Islamic State last major Iraqi stronghold. A spokesperson for the US-led coalition said that has been attacking IS in Iraq and Syria for the last 2 years, said that the number of US troops in the country had grown from about 4,000 a week ago to 4,460 today. The deployments had been previously authorized earlier this year. And now news from the US Open. Well, in a women's semi-final, a big jolt for Serena Williams. She has lost her reign as the world number 1 after facing defeat by Czech player and 10th seed Karolina Pliskova in the semi-final. Now, Pliskova knocked out Serena Williams 6-2, 7-6 to book her place in her first major final. The loss prevents Serena Williams from earning her 7th championship at the Flushing Meadows and a 23rd major title. Pliskova will now play Angelique Kerber in the final, who defeated Caroline Wozniacki 6-3 in the other semi-final. Well, that's all in this edition of News. News and updates continue on your channel. Thanks so much for watching.